everybody. Thanks for tuning in for another Cruise with Smooth. Tell you what, I sure am enjoying this springtime weather. It's awfully pretty, but it's tough to dress right for, because during the day it's a lot warmer than it is at night. Before I get into it today, folks, go ahead and give me a like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell. If there's anything that you want to hear my opinion on, give me a comment on it. I'd be more than happy to look at it and look it up and maybe do a video on it. I might just leave you a photo or a comment below, but I wouldn't mind doing a video on something that I hadn't thought about before. Today I want to talk about an interesting situation that's developed in my family life recently. So I forget what video it was, but I was talking about my wife having recently gotten back in the workforce. She was working a part-time job as a school bus driver for our local district. So she got paid to drive her kids to school every day, along with 30 of their friends. But anyway, she was driving a school bus for about a year. And then there was a situation that came up that required her to quit in order to take care of a couple things for another family member. Well, over the course of her time driving a school bus, she decided that it was a far cry from her favorite job. And she did not really want to go back, so she was contemplating becoming a student, contemplating a couple other things. Well, she had been looking into various types of employment, and she stumbled upon a fairly good job working for a subcontractor, and they locate underground utilities, gas lines, water mains, electric for contractors. And so in my state, there's a 811, which is underground utility awareness. So if you're going to be digging or doing a major construction project, you call this number a couple days before you do your digging, and they're the ones that get the call and come out and mark any underground utilities on your property before you have a digger come in. She did her training and testing last week. She is doing her in the field training this week. All the other stuff was classroom stuff, as far as like regulations, the science behind the equipment, things like that. This week she's doing hands-on training in the field. But anyway, the thing I want to talk about is, for the time being, her and I are currently on opposite shifts. She leaves for work at 5:30 in the morning, I think. I don't get to work till 6 p.m. at night. So, hugely different shifts. Most mornings, when I get off, she's already on her way home, or on her way to work. She puts in a couple less hours a day than I do, but works one more day. Both of us have a 40-hour work week. I just get it in 4 days. Well, anyway, one of the things that has and will be a priority is making sure the two of us get enough two of us time. And not drifting apart. Some of the things that we've done over the years, when her and I, when we got married, we didn't have any money to our name, really. So we didn't get to honeymoon until our 1-year anniversary. Took an out-of-town trip to a city that both of us really liked. Went and did stuff that both of us really enjoyed. For a couple days, came back home, had a blast. Fast forward a couple years after that, I had been really struggling with some stuff when my dad passed away. And her and my mother put their heads together, and we got a long weekend getaway for just the two of us. Went out and had some fun. We went to a part of the state that's got a huge, I guess nature preserve would be the best way to put it. It's also kind of a tourist attraction, so we got to do some touristy things. We went zip lining, things like that. Had a ball. And we just got to spend some time together, and I got to unwind a little bit because I was not in a great place mentally at that point in time. But things like that are going to end up becoming a priority for the two of us, especially while I'm on night shift. I'm hoping to get back to day shift, but right now I can't be in a major hurry for it. I probably won't end up going back to day shift till the start of the 2021 school year. But I said all that to say that if you're serious about a long-term relationship, you should always make your time with the other person and the other person a big priority. I remember one time someone asked me a question about dating advice, and I didn't word it quite right because it was off the cuff, but I've spent some time and thought about it. And it would be this. If you're dating someone and they're not made of spouse material, like if you don't see this person having your best interest at heart, sticking around long term, and being there for you when the chips are down and you're in a bind, I wouldn't hang out. I know my wife didn't marry me for money because I had no money when we got married. Things have changed. I've got a decent enough job. We're in a decent enough financial situation right now. We've made it fairly comfortably into the middle class. We'll just put it that way. But she's helped me through some tough emotional times. I've helped her through some tough emotional times. I think you could say it's a fairy tale romance, but not fairy tale circumstances. Be the easiest way to describe our time together. together / marriage. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Just make sure your spouse or partner is a huge priority for you. That they get a lot of your time. I remember when her and I first got together, there was a monthly tradition amongst my friends. We'd get together, eat steak, smoke cigars, drink beer. And there was just a handful of rules about this. If you got too drunk, someone would take your car keys, and you would stay the night, or stay till you were sober. If you had to chip in on the grocery fund for steaks and whatnot. And there was only one woman allowed there that was the host's dog. No other females allowed. So when my wife and I first got together, her and I were hanging out quite a bit after our work shifts, and so I'd been over to her house 3-4 times this week, just going over there, hanging out, eating dinner, and then going back to my place. Well, I was messaging her. I'm like, so there's a tradition. What's that? I get together with my friends first Saturday of the month. Oh, really? That sounds like fun. I'm like, yeah, there's a rule though. She's like, what's that? I said, there's only one female allowed. Oh, yeah, it's the owner's dog. So she's like, okay, that's fine, you have fun. So the take is that I was so worried about her being upset about me spending time with my friends that I was like cringing, because the last time I'd gone to one of these, when I was with my ex, I caught 9 different kinds of static. I'm not saying that you don't need to hang out with your spouse, but you also need time with your friends and people that you just care about. But she understood that that's a thing, and that same group of friends, now all of us guys are married or in very committed relationships, and we still get together, and now we get together with all of our kids. So we'll for the other weekend we got together for a kid's birthday party at like an indoor arcade, bouncy house kind of thing. Went there, did the kid's birthday party, left, and then we got together at a friend's house and just kind of did the same thing and put the kids had a playroom at this guy's house. So they're all downstairs playing with toys and goofing off, and we're sitting in the living room just chatting and having a good old time. So it's funny, like, time with friends and spouses kind of changed, because it used to be Jen and I would get together, or me and my friends would get together. Now it's both, because all of us are married. We actually started a Facebook chat group, and it's old folks with kids. And so that just kind of describes our sense of humor about aging and getting old. But anyway, just make sure your spouse is a priority. Do something nice for them. Let them know you care about them. Make time with them a priority. And if you can't see yourself with the person that you're with in 5 years, I don't know. Personally, I'd kind of try to break it off. If it were me, better sooner than later. So anyway, that's kind of my take on it. If they're not spouse material, don't put up with them for long. Hope y'all are having a good one. Stay safe out there. Thanks for tuning in for another Cruise with Smooth. Don't know why I hit the hang up button on my car. Thanks for tuning in, guys.